Hi everybody, it's Doreen from Door Design. Welcome to Three Gal Thursdays. These weeks go by faster and faster as we get closer to the holiday season. Before we get into tonight's designing, I want to do a small thank you. I had set a personal goal for myself, for my business, to get to 3,000 followers, and I actually hit that last night. So for those of you who are following me, I thank you. It's exciting to see my little business grow. What I've decided to do, Sunday night, I am going to pick 3 random people that are followers, and I'm going to be shipping out 3 wreath kits. So each of you will get a wreath kit. Once I do the drawing, I will private message the 3 people so I can get your address and things. So I'm going to do it Sunday night because mine's done by a video and not a live. So by the time you watch it, it'll give you time to go out and view the video, and if you like it and you want to follow and share and like it, I would sure appreciate it. So looking forward to that. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to set my second goal. It's going to be 5,000 followers, and once I hit the 5,000 followers, I'm going to be giving away some different types of gifts. For an example, one of them is going to be the Doodle Caddy, and this is the Doodle Caddy. It comes from Katie and her husband at Crazy Maisie Creations, and it's just a nice caddy. My stuff's kind of moving here. What I do is I keep this on my table, and it has all the tools and supplies that I use on a daily basis when I craft. So like my cutters, my scissors, different blades when I cut my mesh, and then here is my perfect tails that I use every time I do a mesh, or I'm doing my wreath kits. When I cut my ribbon, I use these based on the size to wrap them really quickly, and then I have pens and pencils. So I'm going to be giving away a Doodle Caddy, and then I'm also going to be giving away the designer tails. I showed you the perfect tails and the Doodle Caddies, but these are the new ones that I think are just really fun and exciting from Melissa at Burlap Boutique. And I chose to get one of each of the designs. So it's the giraffe, zebra, and the cheetah. And if you want all 3 in the same patterns, you can. But I'm going to be giving away a set of the designer tails. And then what I'm also going to be doing, I am going to be, for one person who name gets drawn, I am going to design a wreath for that person. Depending when I hit my 5,000, that person's going to be able to choose which season they want me to design for. I have all of my stuff out year round, so it really doesn't matter which season you choose, but I'm going to be designing you a large grapevine wreath once I hit the 5,000. So the quicker you guys all go out and hit follow, the quicker we'll be able to do our second round of drawings. So once again, thank you so much for those of you who are following me, and I hope for those of you who don't, I hope you enjoy what you see and you go out and follow my page. I also have a YouTube channel that I would love to have you guys go out and subscribe to, and it's Door Designs. That's D-O-R Designs. Thanks. Okay, let's get on to what we're going to design tonight. One more, I can put this back. Typically what I do are grapevine wreaths. That's kind of my jam that I like doing. I also do centerpieces, swags, and mesh. But tonight we're actually going to do a Christmas tin basket. This is about 18 inches long. You can see it has peace and joy, and then it's got the little cardinal. So we're going to kind of do some stuff for the cardinal. What I'm going to do, there's different ways that you can design in this. You could keep your pics or your stems, I'll show you, long to where you could stick it all the way down in the basket. I'm not going to do that because some of the pics and stuff I'm going to use are going to be much shorter. You could use foam gap and fill it up however full you want to do it. I would be careful not to fill it too full because I'm not sure how tight it's going to get down at the bottom. What I chose to do, I just took some plastic that I use when I ship different things, and I have filled it about 3/4 the way full. Then I'm going to take some styrofoam, and we're just going to put that at the top, and then we're going to cover it in some moss. So that's going to be my base to start putting all of my pics in. And then for tonight, I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm only going to use 1 ribbon, and I'm either going to go with the solid velvet ribbon, and it's got a little bit of a black trim to it, that, or I may go with a red and black plaid. So I'm not really sure yet on the ribbon. For the fillers, we're just going to be doing different pines and berries, and you saw the red berries here, but I'm going to do some ferns, and I know it sounds kind of weird for ferns, but these have got the ice on them. So they're shimmery, stuff like that, and they're wonderful fillers to put in your design. And then I've got just some pics that already have some more berries, some eucalyptus, some ferns. So we're going to start using some of those too. So I'm not really sure how tall I'm going to make it. This container is new to me, so I've never designed in it, which always kind of makes it exciting. So not sure how it's going to end up, but I do have some little white pine cones. And then to kind of finish it, we're going to try and find a place to put 1 or 2 cardinals to match the little cardinal that's on the outside of the container. So let's get started. And first what I'm going to do is we're going to put the styrofoam in the tin. And I'm trying to talk up a little louder. I had a couple of people who sent notes to me that they had a hard time hearing me, so I apologize. Once again, once I get my fiber, I'll have my Mevo, so it'll be a totally different way of setting it up. I wish I could zoom in closer and do all that, but I just don't have the capacity yet until we get our fiber. The good news is we think it's about a week away now. So anyway, I will try and talk up louder. And for those of you that sent me the note, thank you. It's things like that that makes me better when I'm doing my videos and stuff. So anyway, let's get started. I've got the tin. I've already got the plastic in. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the styrofoam and I'm going to push it down in the tin. Sorry for the noise. So once I push it down, that's what it's going to look like. So I'm going to cover that with some moss, and I'm just going to use pins to hold the moss in place. So I'm going to move you down just a little bit while I do that, so that way you can see. So I just keep my moss in a big tub, and let me get my pins right here. And all I'm going to use are these little floral picks to put the moss in. I've had people ask me why I don't glue it. I don't glue the moss because what happens is if you would hot glue your moss on, when you go to put your picks in, if there's glue right there, it's really hard to get it to go through. So just take some floral pins. It's not going to show once we get everything on here. It's quick and it's easy. It's a little messy. That noise kind of gives me the creeps. It doesn't have to be perfect all the way across because it's not going to show. Okay, so see how that just kind of covers the base of your styrofoam. So now we've got our base done, it's ready to go. I'm going to tuck these in because I really don't want the moss to come out that much. So I'm going to kind of tuck those down in there. Okay. Okay, I am going to start with the ferns first, and they're going to go in the back side of my container. So we're going to start designing back in the back, and then we'll fill it in as we come forward. So I'm just going to clip those. And like I say, once you have your bush, you always want to cut these apart because it's going to go a lot further. And then what I do, I take my stems and this is an electric skillet with Gorilla Hot Glue. So it's just melted. So since I do so many grapevines and stuff, I use a lot of glue. It's easier for me to use just an electric skillet than to use a glue gun and start gluing every little pick. When I cut this apart, it has a pretty good stem at the bottom, so I don't think I'll have to use my pick machine to do any of them, but if some of these aren't real firm, you may have to use a pick machine, or you can get the floral picks and you can just wrap it around and put it in. But I'm going to try and do it without floral picks. And I'm just randomly placing them, because all I'm doing right now is putting in a back filler. And I'm going to put it all the way around my container. Okay, so all I did, I took that one bush, I cut it apart, and it probably had maybe 10, 12 pieces to it, and all I did was took it clear across the back. So here's the back of it, so you can see how far back I've taken the fern. So all I'm looking for this greenery is just to kind of be a backdrop to what I'm going to put in front. Okay, here's the next bush I have. I'm probably going to end up cutting this apart and just using the various pieces. The reason being is because this is so nice and full, but my opening is not that big. So for me to put that in, it basically takes over the whole container, and I want it to be more open to where you can kind of see through it. So I am going to actually cut these apart, and I may have to use my pick machine on some of these because the bottoms may not be strong enough. Yeah, so see, when I take this apart, the bottom's not really strong enough to go through the styrofoam. So I'm going to go ahead, and all I do is I take my stem here and I just kind of pull down the pieces that are kind of wrapped together. Okay, so for that one stem, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 different pieces to use to put it in my design. Now this one's pretty firm, so I'm going to try and do that without using the pick machine. Nope, it's not going to go through. So let's pick it real quick. So what the pick machine does, and I can do a close-up of it, you just put the end of it in the machine, and it's got these little picks, and it wraps around your stem. So it'll go in rather quickly. Here's what it looks like. It is heavy. It's one of the piece machine that if you are going to do a lot of floral designing, especially on grapevines, I would strongly encourage you to add this to your shop because I use mine all the time. All I'm doing is I'm taking the different greenery and putting it in front. So we're doing layer number 2. When I design, I do everything kind of in a pattern or a line, starting from the back, working my way forward. I'm just adding all the different pieces. Okay, for this piece, it's a little bit bigger piece. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this, I think, a little bit back further because it's got so much more to it to kind of be the center of the container. Okay, so here's what we have so far. We've got the back filler. So see how that back filler kind of disappears somewhat as you start filling in the front. So I've taken that one bush and we've just kind of put in a piece here, the piece here with the different berries, and then it's got some different evergreen showing through there. So that's kind of what I want to keep doing, is just filling in with different types of greenery, evergreen, berries, and things like that. And then we'll probably put our little cardinal, after we put our bow, somewhere here in front. And I have two, so we'll see if we need both of them. Okay, I'm going to cut some of this up. The reason I'm going to add this in is, see how the different colors, it's got the lighter green, the darker green, it's got the shimmery across all of that. It's going to make this more kind of start standing out, that I don't want everything to be the same color, the dark evergreen. I want it to have different pieces that draws your eye across the whole entire design. So we're going to cut these down. See how pretty those are with the shimmer and the shine on them? The other thing the pick machine does, if you have a shorter piece of greenery, once you add the pick, see how much longer it makes your stem, so you can actually not have to poke it down as far once you have the pick on the bottom. The other nice thing about this, when you have that shorter, see how nice it fills in with that nice shorter, and then instead of everything coming up, you can start bringing your design coming down. And I'm probably going to stop here for a minute with the greenery and make the bow and see where we want it before we get the greenery too filled up and the bow doesn't fit in there. When I'm putting in these pics, I'm putting them straight in because I want to start filling the base of this. So some of them are going up, but for these shorter pieces, they're coming straight out. Okay, I'm going to stop just for a second on the greenery, and let's decide which ribbon we're going to go with. And I want to keep the bow simple. I don't want a lot of different designs and colors because this front of this is so nice. It's just kind of a peaceful looking with the birch trees coming behind it with the peace and joy with the snow at the bottom. I don't want a bunch of different colors and stuff coming down. I want to kind of keep it that simplicity look to it. I think I got glitter already on my face. Okay, there's that one. I just want to hold up the red and black and just kind of see what it looks like. No, I think I'm going to go with the velvet with the black. So I'm going to do the tail about 16 inches long because we're going to kind of roll that up. And then I think I'm going to probably just do 3 loops. And I typically do 6-inch loops, but I want to kind of just play with it and see if I want my loops that big. All I'm doing is making the loop, squeezing it, turning it, and then making my next loop. Yep, I think I just want to do the 3 loops. Okay, I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner to secure my bow here. And then I'm going to use a pick, and I'm going to pick the end of this to stick it in. And I just used my scissors to cut that. I can't believe I did that. So what I do, I secured my pipe cleaner around it. I cut it a little ways down, wrap it, and now I'm just going to twist it, and I'm going to pick the end of this pipe cleaner. So there's the pick that I'm going to use to secure my bow in. I'm going to put something in the center, so I'm not going to wrap the other ribbon around it. Can't see what I'm doing over there. There it goes. And I'm just going to roll these up and then pull them down to curl them, and I'll show you in just a moment. So there we have how we're going to do the bow. It looks bigger when I do it. It's not as big when I go further back. Okay, let's go ahead and finish our greenery, and then we'll see if we need to do any adjustment on the bow. Okay, because we got lots more stuff to put inside there. I'm also going to be designing some centerpieces in rustic boxes. I was going to do one tonight, but then when I got this one out, I decided to do this one first. And I'm going to be doing a Christmas lantern too. After I did the lantern for Halloween, I had several people ask me to do a Christmas one. So I'm also going to be doing a Christmas lantern. Besides doing some more wreaths. I love to decorate for Christmas, but I hate the glitter. I'm going to go ahead and use all of this one pick just because there's just one sprig left and I don't like to keep just one piece of something around. Okay, last piece of this one. I think I know exactly where I'm going to put it. Okay, so here's what it looks like when we took our third filler and took it basically around the front, and then I went ahead and took some along the side, along the base, to kind of make sure it all kind of blends in together. So I took some around this side, underneath the bow, and that kind of separates my bow. So my bow's not all in one big cluster, that we have the bow kind of flowing in through the greenery. Now, actually, you could stop here. Now, I'm going to put a few more things in it, but right now, this one, you could sell very easily, or if you're a buyer, this would be really pretty on a wall, in a fireplace thing. You could put it outside. It's not real heavy, but you could put this most definitely outside. Okay. I've got some different things, and this is the fun part because I really don't know what I want to add in there, but I want to add some more things that makes it look kind of Christmassy. But keeping with the outdoor theme, I might put a pine cone or two in there. Let's see what it's going to look like. And I'm just going to place a few pine cones first before gluing them in. I like to add different dimensions that kind of makes your design pop. So right now everything looks pretty green and the red kind of burgundy. I want a third or fourth color or dimension in there that's going to make it kind of stick out. Okay, I love the pine cones in there, so I'm going to show you a close-up before I do it. But see how that just kind of makes it, when you're looking at it, really makes your arrangement start to pop out. So let's go ahead and get those placed in there. Okay, there it is with the 3 pine cones glued in. So you see the pine cones, but they're also kind of buried a little bit with all the different greenery and berries going around it. Okay. I may put some little branches in too. The reason why I like the branches, I kind of like them to look kind of like the birch branches. That's going to be a little long. Okay, I'm going to put the branches in, so I'm going to glue those in real quick. And I don't think I'm going to need a pick for these. It's getting too tall. I can't see where I'm putting it in it. There it goes. Whoa, about lost my arrangement there. Now I'm going to put this one right back in the middle. And I've got the last one on the side. When I do arrangements and stuff, I pretty much do, for things like this, in 3s. I don't like even, I like odd. Okay, I think our container's full enough. So there it is with the branches and the little pine cones we put in. And then see how you can still see the berries, but they're just kind of part of the whole arrangement. Now we got to find a place for our little cardinal. Because I really want a cardinal in this design. This one looks a little better. Although it looks like he's got a little bit of a broken tail that we're going to kind of trim up here at the bottom. So we might put one there. And one sitting up a little high. So I think that's where I'm going to put the two cardinals. I'll glue him down a little bit so he doesn't stick out quite as much. Okay, we're just going to take some hot glue and put it on the bottom of the cardinal. And what I do, I keep these long sticks that come off different pics or floral arrangements, and that's what I use in my hot glue. And I'm going to hold him just for a minute because I'm gluing him actually to one of the ferns. It looks a little crooked. And putting the second one in now. I've got to add one more piece of greenery. I have a hole right here that I want to fill, so I'm just going to cut a little piece off. Okay, I'm going to stand back just for a second so I can kind of see it. I see one more side that I want to add a piece to. You always want to make sure when you do something like this that you've got enough greenery or florals or whatever you're using to make sure and cover up all of your styrofoam, because you don't want your client to see the mechanics of what you're doing. So right here in the back you can see some of the styrofoam, so I'm going to add some more of the moss to kind of fill that in. And I'm going to move some of these back ferns around because I want to, even though it's the back side, I still want it to look nice. Little birdie's falling forward a little bit. Okay guys, I think we're done. So I will fill in a little bit more of the grass, but to recap, the container came from a store here in town, and then we used one ribbon. We did the 3 loops, and I kind of wove it in the greenery, had 2 long tails on it, and then we did 1 bush of the fern that's got the sparkle for our back filler, and then we came in on row 2, and that's where we took the different greenery from the bush that was like this that had the berries, so I used one of these, and that's, like I said, that's row 2. So we kind of filled in there, and then these were part of that bush, so that brought in the red berries. And then row 3 was all of this greenery here, and like I said, I just take that and kind of went along the front, took it up a little bit, but that's my filler to fill in the bottom with all the styrofoam. So even though I've got different greeneries, they kind of all blend in that you don't see lines of it. So then once we did that, then we came in and started adding our accent pieces, which were the pine cones and the twigs up here, the little branches. And then to top it off, to match our little cardinal, we have a cardinal here, and then we put the other cardinal right up here at the top. So you can see it's nice and full. It's still very light. It'll be easy to ship for your clients and stuff like that. I am going to put this in my shop. I was going to keep it for myself, but I actually went back and bought a couple more of these. So anyway, this will be in my shop. And once again, I just want to thank you for following me, for hitting my first goal. I look forward to hitting the second goal and giving away some more giveaways. And I really appreciate you watching the videos and giving me the feedback. I love to get the feedback, good and bad. Some of you have been great on telling me different things that I can change to kind of help you hear or to watch it, to bring it close up so you can see it. So continue, if you will, to send me the stuff. And if you have ideas that you want me to create, that's why I'm going to do the Christmas lantern and do some of the boxes, because I had some people send me notes that they would love to see some more of the Christmas different projects besides just the wreaths. So if you haven't followed my page, please go out to Door Designs and follow, share, and like. Also my YouTube channel, Door Designs. And then also, if you haven't checked out Katie from Crazy Maisie Creation or Melissa from Burlap Boutique, please go out and check their pages also. They have beautiful shops. They do signs, and like I said, the perfect tails, the doodle caddies, wreath centerpieces also. So for 3 Gal Thursdays for tonight, we thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye.